So, what if I told you that a book, written way back in 1937, right in the middle of the Great Depression, actually holds a secret formula for success? And what if that formula is just as powerful today? It's a pretty bold claim, right? Well, let's dive in and see what it's all about.
So let's just get right to the heart of it with this one big question. Can your thoughts, the stuff going on in your head, actually make you rich? This is the core idea of Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich. And I know it sounds a little too simple, maybe a bit out there, but what if it's more than just positive thinking? What if there's a real concrete method behind it all?
You know, to really get how wild this book's claim was, you have to picture the year 1937. We're talking about the absolute depths of the Great Depression. There's widespread poverty, people are feeling hopeless. And then, out of nowhere, this book comes along with this incredibly audacious promise of wealth and achievement.
So the author of this guy, Napoleon Hill, he went on what was basically an epic 20-year quest. The story goes that Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men who ever lived, challenged him to go out and interview over 500 self-made millionaires. The mission? To find out what they all had in common and boil it all down into one single universal formula for success.
And what did he find after 2 decades of all that research? Well, it all came down to this simple, yet kind of mind-blowing idea. Your thoughts are actual things. Success isn't about luck. It's not about just grinding harder than everyone else. It's a mental game. Hill realized you first have to build a success consciousness, a mindset, a deep-seated belief system that doesn't just hope for success, but absolutely expects it.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to start with the first, and honestly, the most important of Hill's 13 principles. He called this the starting point of all achievement. Think of it like the fuel for the entire engine, and it's way, way more powerful than just a simple wish. Now, Hill makes a really important distinction here. A simple wish is passive, right? It's like saying, man, I wish I had more money. But a burning desire, that's something else entirely. That's an all-consuming obsession. It's a crystal clear goal that you're thinking about all the time when you're willing to bet everything on.
This quote from Hill just nails it, doesn't it? Wishing will not bring riches. He's basically saying you have to shift from passively wanting something to actively deciding that you will have it, come hell or high water. He believed this obsessive focus is what turns a fuzzy dream into a concrete plan.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. Let's look at the story of Edwin C. Barnes. This guy didn't just want to work for Thomas Edison. His crazy goal was to become his business partner. So he shows up with no money, no connections, nothing. He takes a low-level job just to be in the building, to be in Edison's orbit. And then he waits.
So a burning desire is absolutely essential. It's step one. But Hill argued that even that isn't enough by itself. He was completely convinced that huge success is almost never a solo mission. It's a team sport. You have to be able to tap into the brainpower of other people.
Hill had a great name for this concept, the mastermind. And this is more than just networking. It's about creating a small, trusted group of people who are all on the same page, working together toward a clear goal. The big idea here is that when you bring minds together in this kind of harmony, you create a third, invisible mind, a supermind that is way more powerful than the sum of its parts.
And a perfect example of this in action is Henry Ford. The guy didn't have a lot of formal schooling, but he was incredibly smart about what he didn't know. So what did he do? He surrounded himself with brilliant people, geniuses like Thomas Edison and Harvey Firestone. Ford didn't need to be the expert on everything because he had his mastermind group to fill in all the gaps.
Okay, so these ideas are almost 100 years old. Do they really have a place in our crazy, fast-paced world today? You know what? Let's take a hard look at our own modern habits and see if we're actually living by these principles or if we're kind of working against ourselves. All right, this table here is a bit of a gut check, isn't it? A real eye-opener. So Hill preached having a definiteness of purpose, a laser-focused, super clear goal. But what do most of us have? A vague idea like, I want more money? Or look at persistence. Hill saw it as the backbone of achievement. But today, so often we quit at the first sign of trouble, after the very first no. And instead of building a mastermind with people who push us and challenge us, we often just fall into social conformity to fit in. And the last one, decision. Hill found that successful people make decisions fast and stick to them. And what's our default mode? Procrastination and getting stuck in analysis paralysis. It really holds a mirror up to our daily choices, doesn't it? So when you boil it all down, what's the one thing you should really take away from Think and Grow Rich? If you forget everything else, what's the core message?
The bottom line is this. Every single one of Hill's principles, from that burning desire to the mastermind, they're all just tools. They're tools designed to help you do one thing, to intentionally build a success consciousness. It's about completely rewiring your brain so you don't just wish for success, you expect it. You see it as the inevitable outcome of your thoughts and your actions.
And that leaves us with one last, really powerful question for you to think about. When you look at your own life, which of your daily habits, your daily thoughts, are actually building you up towards success, and which ones are secretly holding you back? Because according to Napoleon Hill, the answer to that one question, well, that's what will ultimately shape your entire future.